Sometimes it's good we don't have smell-o-vision.
Right?
We have a lot of great guests where you do want it at home, but this one, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. 6 a.m. here on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irapor. There are hundreds of people who want to smell something that's putrid. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But let's talk about your forecast here. The heat, the humidity.
Nothing like waking up on a Wednesday morning and thinking, let's talk about a dead-smelling
rotting corpse.
Exactly, the corpse flower. Right. Hey, it was a showery start to the day yesterday. Not quite as active today. We still have some of that cloud cover coming in from the east, and we're still going to be humid by the afternoon. But temperatures out there right now are mostly in the 60s and 70s. It's a bit more mild out there in terms of your conditions. Temperatures are going to be very similar to yesterday, though. By the time we get to our afternoon, we'll move from the 60s and 70s to the 80s out by the water. 94 on average across our inland valleys, 91 for the mountains, and 100 for the deserts. Coming up, we'll talk about when we see a decrease in that monsoonal moisture and when there's finally a cool down in sight. Vanessa Paz is checking in on traffic in the meantime.
Hey guys, 6:01 is the time on your Wednesday, also known as Hump Day. This is a 5 in both directions right at Old Town Avenue. So far so good, looking fairly quiet in both directions. Meanwhile, this is a live look. Again, selfishly wanted to showcase this because it shows the glowing sunrise in the distance. This is the 8 coming at your screen. Is that drive headed towards the college area as you make your way towards that 15 connector. We're so far so good, but notice how there's a little bit of red, actually a lot of red as you head onto the island towards Coronado, and it looks like we have some sort of breakdown that we're dealing with on the 5 through the mile of cars. So unfortunately, it looks like we are looking at a little below average speeds when it comes to the South Bay. In about 5-7 minutes or so, we'll take a look at those Wednesday travel times.
This morning, a 52-year-old man is facing felony charges, accused of throwing a rock at a moving car in La Mesa. You see in this video, cracking the windshield right there. That makes it hard to drive.
Yeah, it happened on August 24th on Murray Hill Road. The impact left Tony Ratmasingh's passenger covered in glass shards.
I wanted to warn people just in case it happens to them, you know? Just especially in that area, especially driving late at night, just don't go that way, or if you do, just be careful.
Ratmasingh thought it may have been a trap because another car stopped nearby with its hazards on, but police say the driver of that other car also had a rock thrown at them.
The woman accused of killing CAL FIRE Captain Rebecca Marodi will face a judge this morning. Yolanda Marodi, accused of stabbing her wife at their home in February. Yolanda fled to Mexico, where she was on the run for a month before she was arrested and then extradited back here to San Diego. She appeared in court back in April in a wheelchair. She's being held without bail.
New this morning, San Diego City Councilwoman Marnie Von Wilpert is running for Congress. She's looking to unseat Republican Darrell Issa, who currently represents California's 48th congressional district. This comes amid Governor Gavin Newsom's redistricting effort to flip 5 House seats, including Issa's, who called it a, quote, Democrat power grab. Another Democrat, Amar Campa-Dejar, is also in the running. Von Wilpert will be joining us live here in studio in our next half hour.
And now this morning, there's a new hotspot for those daylighting tickets, as they're being called. They're being given out here in San Diego.
Right now, the city enforcing a new law which bans parking within 20 feet of intersections. CBS 8's Regina Irita live in La Jolla, where the most tickets have been issued there so far.
Yeah, that's right. And the residents that we spoke to here in La Jolla and Bird Rock, they tell us that this ticketing has gotten excessive, and that's because they've noticed visitors and tourists getting citations for parking in an area that doesn't indicate whether you can or can't park there, meaning there's no sign posted on there. Now, the biggest hotspot is Vista Del Mar near Windansea Beach in La Jolla, where officers have written over 300 tickets. These are daylighting tickets, which is a safety measure at intersections where parking is prohibited within 20 feet of a marked or unmarked crosswalk. California lawmakers passed this law and it went into effect in January, and San Diego began enforcement in March of 2025. The purpose of this is to improve visibility for drivers, pedestrians, skateboarders, and cyclists by creating a clear line of sight at corners, which should reduce the risk of accidents. Now, initially, CBS 8 reported North Park was the focus for parking officers. That, however, has changed and shifted over to Windansea and other nearby beaches. So they've received more than 300 tickets in the 6 months that the law has been enforced. And here's how residents are feeling about it.
As the daylighting law is concerned, I feel like 20 feet seems a little excessive, to me. And it seems like they're doing an awful lot of ticketing around.
Nobody really even knows what they're writing the tickets for.
And when enforcement began for these tickets, they were actually costing drivers $77.50. It has now gone up to $117. You can notice the difference there, more than $30 of an increase. Eric and Netta, I'll send it back to you.
Regina thinks it's almost that time of year when you may be thinking about getting that flu shot.
But some people are wondering if it's too early, perhaps, to get one. CBS 8's Chris Grow live in Mission Valley with what local experts are saying. Chris, we know school's back in session, which a lot of times means the germs are spreading.
Yeah, kids back in school and a lot of things going around. Flu going to be one of them. And to answer the question, right now is a good time to go ahead and get the flu shot. That, according to a conversation that we had with an assistant medical director from Kaiser. Scripps also announcing that right now that they are offering vaccine clinics, vaccines at their clinics as well as their primary care physicians. So this is a time to get it. And the reason why is because the CDC says between September and October, it takes about 2 weeks to build immunity, which leads you up to peak flu season, which is typically December through March. Now, in accordance with this, of course, as I said, Scripps Health trying to make sure that people have access to these vaccines, primary health offices, Health Express locations, as well as other clinics are going to be offering them to help lower your risk of getting sick. Take a listen to what else Kaiser's assistant area medical director had to say about getting the flu shot.
A wild disease to something mild that's tolerable, that's what the flu vaccine does so well. If not for yourself, do it for your family, do it for people who are more immunocompromised, who can get sick and die from it much easier than you.
And the CDC recommends that you should get the flu shot for those who are 6 months and older. Eric and Netta.
All right, nice little spot right there.
Yes, very nice all
Green.
around town. Yeah.
Nice there. Some spots that have the green
Look
got a
at
little
that.
more moisture the past day.
Right.
or
The
so.
mountains needed it.
Yeah.
The mountains, a couple of our inland valleys yesterday. Ramona saw a daily precipitation record broken yesterday because of all those showers and thunderstorms that came about primarily over the mountains and deserts yesterday morning. At this time, things are not quite as active as they were at this time yesterday. We're expecting the afternoon to bring about a couple pop-up showers over the mountains, so another humid and hot day ahead. 80 out by the coast, 94 inland. We were just looking at Coronado right now, but over the last several hours, we've been watching as our cameras have been giving us beautiful views out there. We have a little bit of fog out along the coastline, not too far inland to start off the morning. Want to point out Ramona as one spot that we've been looking at over the last 2 weeks where we have seen some very hot temperatures. Look at the top right corner of your screen. Average for Ramona would be 91 degrees. There has not been a single day, aside from one in the last 2 weeks, where temperatures have been at or below normal. We have instead been at 95, 98 degrees. There were even a couple 100-degree days out there. So quite a contrast yesterday to start off the morning with a quick-moving thunderstorm to get 0.3 of an inch of rain and then to still make it to 98 degrees. This afternoon, we'll start to see very gradual minor cooling and then more significant cooling and a more significant drop in humidity expected by the time we get to the upcoming weekend. Satellite radar showing those clouds out along the coast. Like I mentioned, less activity coming in from the east. A little bit of a wider picture shows you there's still some showers up around the Havasu area and off the coastline, but generally everything is staying out of our hair as we start off the day. Over the next couple days, that cooling of temperatures is going to be felt and seen. We'll finally see fewer cumulus clouds building out over the mountains because of that drop in humidity. So less humid and much more mild in terms of your temperatures, especially by Friday and Saturday. Vanessa Paz is checking in on how traffic is shaping up to start off our Wednesday. Looks quiet out there.
Yeah, 6:09 is the time on your Wednesday. This is a live look on the 5 in both directions. So far, so good. We have the sun finally lighting up some of our major freeways. All right, switching gears, this is what it looks like as you look out east towards the mountain areas. Coming at your screen is that westbound drive as you head towards the 15 connector into Mission Valley. All right, we have a couple of things that will likely cause brake tapping this morning. For example, in from the South Bay on the 5 North right at Main Street, also known as Division. Once you get past the mile of cars, we're tracking a breakdown, and unfortunately it is stalled in the fast lane. That is no bueno, and it's causing speeds anywhere between 10, 15 miles per hour. So we're also tracking a crash. I couldn't type this one up very quick here for you, but this is on the 5 North right at Carmel Valley. Most folks, though, are traveling southbound, so that could slow things down, but not in a big way because it is on that northbound end. All right, 10 to 25 minutes to get you southbound in from Encinitas as well as Escondido down to the 163 merge. Full span of the 78 at last check. Average speeds about 68 miles per hour, and it'll take you about 15 minutes to get towards the 5 connector. If you're traveling westbound in from the East County, we're all in the green. Green, always good news. But of course, it is still really early as we progress through the 6 o'clock hour. Those numbers will likely climb. In about 15 minutes at last check as you head northbound in from the 54, about a 15-minute ride in from San Ysidro up to the 94. Full span of the Coronado Bridge. All right, this one is going to cause some panic. 16 minutes. This is typically a 3-minute drive, folks. Nearly 20 minutes right now. Not sure what's going on here. Likely some activity. Again, looks like we're tracking something on the Coronado Bridge because right now it'll take you about 16 minutes full span towards the toll booth. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times. About an hour and a half to get you in from San Ysidro's port of entry. And Otay Mesa is not too bad whatsoever. About 30 minutes at last check.